Hi, this is Dominic Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know, and you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Yes, you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. I am your host, Stephanie K. As always, thank you guys for joining me. And look, I brought Randy with me. Oh my God, and I'm actually pointing in the right direction. Usually I always go the wrong way first. But look, Randy is here because we're going to be talking about stuff that Randy likes to talk about. So I was like, what the hell? Let's invite Randy on. Because you can never, ever, ever get too much of those headphones. I'm sorry, with the ears. Meow. Robert! Hi! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you made it. Robert has missed like the last 2 weeks, and I actually sent him a message because I was like, Robert, where have you been? And I just wanted to make sure you're okay. Because unfortunately, in today's climate, when you don't hear from somebody that you're used to hearing from, you kind of...
True.
So anybody out there that has not heard from a friend or whatever, or hasn't seen somebody around, just check in on them.
It's true. Just say hi. I do that. I've done that a lot recently. Just during the whole thing, and just if I haven't talked to somebody, I just send a little message and check in and tell them I'm thinking about them. It's nice to do anyway, you know.
Yeah, I did that. You know what? It's so funny. I did that. I have to, because I like name dropping on here, as everybody knows. But I remember the day that LA closed down, I did that with Nicole DeBoer. Because I hadn't talked to her in a while. I'm like, hi, how are you? And she surprised the hell out of me. She called me. I figured she'd just get a hi. And she called me because she was out walking Teddy. And she's like, oh, no, it's just easier to call you. How are you? I'm like, oh my, because you guys locked it. You were the first ones to lock down.
Yeah. She called me then too. I was like, what is happening?
Yes. I was like, oh my gosh, how are you? Are you okay?
Scary.
And then I got the whole story about Connor Jr.'s birthday getting blown out of the water because you guys locked down on Connor's birthday. So I felt so bad because I'm like, oh, and then I thought, well, hopefully, and then my birthday got ruined.
I was lucky mine was before all of this, but now I'll get it on the other end because it won't be time until after my birthday. So,
oh look,
I think we all got one.
Magic Lasso. Hi. Yes, your kitty. Yes, he does Magic Lasso. I know is a fan of your kitty cat ears. Actually, when he and I have conversations, one of his favorite words is meow. So you just fit right in with
fabulous.
His whole meow scheme. But yeah, I just I'm hoping for take 2 with my birthday when we do people are calling it 55 LV. I just looked instead of STLV.
Oh, is that what
they're
we're calling it?
55 LV.
Okay, that's cute.
Which is 200.
I can't use the like QNST elemental PAD. I can't do all that. Whatever the hell they're calling it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just somebody and they had to change. They completely changed the name of the Facebook page that used to be, the official Star Trek, the unofficial official Star Trek convention page is now whatever it is, 55-year mission page. But somebody on there said 55 LV, and I'm like, that fits.
That's better. That's better for
sure.
That's
better. It's easy. Which is 260 days away, because you know me, I always check the website. 260 days away. No new guest updates since last week when I mentioned that Penny Johnson-Gerald is going to be there. We all know as Cassidy Yates, and also the doctor on the Orville, so she's going to be there.
I love her so much. She's so cute.
She is cute. I talked to her for like 5 seconds. It's Shore Leave. Is it Shore Leave? Farpoint. No, it was Farpoint. There's 2 conventions. There's 2 conventions in Maryland. They're almost identical. One's called Farpoint and one's called Shore Leave. They're kind of sister conventions.
Okay.
And Farpoint's the February-ish one, and Shore Leave's the summer one. And it was the weekend after I saw you in LA for Gallifrey.
Gallifrey, yeah.
Yeah, it was Gallifrey. And then Gallifrey was amazing. And I got to see Anthony Montgomery 2 weeks in a row because I flew home and then.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and it was awesome because he signed I have an Eagle Moss NX-01. Like Eagle Moss is like the model.
Yeah, I have a D. I have an Enterprise D.
From them. They're amazing.
Yeah,
and I bought it, and the only thing I took it out of the package for Anthony to sign, and then I put it back, and that's it. And I realized after he signed that for me, everything that I have signed from Enterprise Cast, there's something unique. He signed my Eagle Moss. A friend of mine that used to she's retired, but she used to sew these really cool pouches and stuff with really funky material, and one of them is this really cute. I'll have to go get it and show everybody sometime. It's like these just little cartoony looking characters from across the 5 series, and Phlox is on there.
Oh, cute.
So I got John Billingsley to sign. I also got Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes to sign it. So
oh, fun.
yeah, so that was fun. So I got Billingsley to sign that. And then I have an artist friend. His name's James Holko, and people should go to James Holko Art on Facebook because he's amazing. And one of the things he did a commission piece for me of Trip and Reed. I picked a picture, and then he recreated it with a better background. So,
oh, fun.
Yeah, so I got Connor and Dominic to sign that, and that's
Cute.
unique. Like,
yeah,
James,
yeah.
like, I'm not going to reprint it. It's yours. I'm not going to make it like a thing.
That's great.
They each got a copy of it. God knows what they did with it. But I have the original. I have the original framed. So yeah, so everybody from Enterprise has signed something besides 8x10.
Right. Yeah, because that's what everyone does.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have other Dominic stuff that's on 8x10s, but I also have that. So yeah, because I have to collect. But anyway, we are here to talk about a bunch of stuff because we're going. First of all, Magic Lasso. I never finished. I realized at the end of last week we were talking about comics. He was asking about the comics, Star Trek and comics.
Uh-huh.
And I've never read any Star Trek comics, to be honest, but he's the comic book guy. So we were discussing it, and I got off on this tangent. I started talking about the Mirror Universe and how important it is and how people love it and how it had so many episodes in DS9. It originally appeared in TOS. Voyager never got, and TNG never got. And then they had that amazing 2-part episode in Enterprise. And of course, I started talking about Enterprise, which meant tangent. Tangent, show over, done. But what I had started to say was TNG got an entire story arc of Mirror Universe in the comics.
Oh, no way.
And I want to say IDW comics, but I am not sure because I think IDW is the one that's doing them now. And the first Star Trek convention I worked in Vegas, the 2017 that I did in Vegas, there was a whole bunch of Mirror Universe because I think that's when it hit. They had some really great Mirror Universe stuff that they were merchandise that Creation was selling. So I got a Mirror Universe water bottle with Picard on it.
Oh,
very buff. Picard is incredibly buff in the universe. Ripped sleeves, like they don't have sleeves. It's very 80s.
Right, of course. Yeah, Sexterprise outfits are always super weird.
Yeah, but no, it was really good. And they had an again, didn't read it, but everybody looked really good. And the artwork was fantastic. And Magic Lasso. Comic book humor. Yes, I know. I took it out of the pack. How else was I going to get him to sign on the Enterprise? He had to sign.
Get two.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let him sign on the package because signing on the package, it just didn't make any sense. I want him to sign on the saucer section. This is Chachki, everybody. I don't think anybody's met Chachki yet.
Oh, no.
This is Chachki. She's one of, yes. Okay, sweetheart.
One of your 32 cats?
Yeah, 6. I have 6. But anyway, so that was like, I literally ended the show last week and went, I never finished talking about how the Mirror Universe and TNG, and it's a really great comic book arc. So I'm glad Magic Lasso showed up for this one, so I could explain that. All right.
There you go.
So we're going to go a little off topic as usual. And we're going to talk about The Mandalorian, or AKA the Baby Yoda show, because I was excited about the Baby Yoda show. In fact, Baby Yoda is our other special guest. Randy brought Baby Yoda, so where's... He's saying hi.
He's using the Force, or trying to.
Which is actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about because I thought it was so great. I was waiting for him this season to use the Force because he used it a few times last season.
I know, yeah.
But all he did, he saved the Mandalorian with it twice, and then he saved Grief with it when he healed him after he got attacked.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I was like, well, what's the big Force thing that Baby Yoda's gonna... He stole cookies, I love it.
And you know that now at Disneyland they're going to have blue macaroons, and they're going to be the Baby Yoda ones.
Yeah, they are going to be the Baby Yoda ones. Yes, he definitely. This is.
He does want eggs.
He always
He
wants
redeemed
eggs.
himself though from the egg situation.
Yeah, exactly. When he was making nice and he realized he was eating babies, he decided
Yes.
that.
And then he became friends with the little froggy guy.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that was so funny that it's like, oh my God, he's eating this woman's eggs, but even when he's doing that, he's cute. I'm like, how terrible are we for thinking
know.
everything he does is cute?
I know. He didn't know any better.
I know, but it was so great.
He's
So
only 50.
yeah, exactly. And, when your lifespan's 900, 50 is definitely still a baby.
Still a baby.
But no, it was just so funny because I'm sure everybody else was waiting to see what he did with the Force this season.
I know.
But it's like
cookies.
But you know what I think is great is like, first of all, how do you say no to Baby Yoda? When Baby Yoda's going, how do you say no? Rude
no
kid,
way.
right? Let's start with like jerky kid. And it's like, if you had given him one macaroon, maybe he would have been happy. But because you say no, you lost the entire pack.
I know. I mean, how did he? I mean, yeah. Why would you just take one? You got to take the whole pack. I don't know how the Force works, but I feel like the container was angled away from him, so he had to grab the whole thing.
Well, exactly, and
I don't know. He couldn't see inside of it from where he was.
I think he was teaching that kid a lesson. Like, you could have given me one, but
I know the kid wasn't sharing, and he made the face too. He's like,
like he knew exactly what he was doing.
He knew exactly. He's
like, listen, if I can almost repair a ship, I can take your cookies.
I'm gonna take your cookie. And he just looked at him, and the kid was like, "What do you say?" I don't know what you say. You just let baby Yoda.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, excuse me, protocol droid teacher. He stole my cookies. But yeah, exactly. What do you say? The other thing that I liked about this episode was there were definitely a bunch of Star Wars Easter eggs. If you've watched Star Wars as many times as I have, yeah, I know. But yeah, the whole time that they were running around that Imperial base, I mean, I haven't looked it up, but I feel like those stormtroopers were quoting things that they were conversations that were identical to conversations that they were having on the original Death Star. And I'm sorry, but that control panel was like an echo of Alec Guinness trying to shut off the tractor beam, cut the power to the tractor beam so that the Falcon could. But it was very subtle. It was just like you had to have an ear for it, and it's some.
I had no idea.
I know.
But it's good to know that it was fine without it, because I was like, okay, yeah, sure, they're doing
exactly.
things.
Well, again, because we all know that I'm a fan of like the organic stuff, and not when it's thrown at you. You're just like the little homages, like just.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, hey, remember this from that one? Yeah, you just like.
Yeah,
do
exactly.
It's part like of the show, and if you catch it, great. If not, great.
Yeah, it makes no difference. And the speeder bikes chasing them. I mean, that was like Return of the Jedi right out of the gate. Please tell me you remember the speeder bike chase on Endor.
Yes.
So I mean, right down. I mean, they were wearing
my dreams, but yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it was the same. They were wearing the same armor that they wore. They have like, I guess that's like official speeder bike armor. Like you can't ride the speeder bikes unless you're wearing because it's different than regular stormtrooper armor.
Right.
Okay. So, but I just thought it was such a great episode.
To that either.
I feel like this was the first time they gave that big of a nod to Star Wars and Jedi.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. I did definitely feel that. Just seeing, I was like, oh, this is a lot of like old Star Wars kind of stuff. Whereas before, it's just been like, generic planet. Looks like kind of vaguely.
Well, they went. I mean, yeah, it's like going to Tatooine. Well, because they did do the Tatooine Mos Eisley thing.
Sure.
Johnny, dude, look, Johnny's here. What's up, Johnny? Thank you so much for stopping by. So, yeah, I mean, they did Tatooine and they mentioned Mos Eisley this time around, but this I really like the fact that they're kind of giving nods and it's fitting in very well. It's not like shoved in or you feel like they shoehorned it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't feel that at all. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So for those of us that have watched all of the Star Warses, and I'm talking original, not prequels and sequels, I've watched the original trilogy like a bazillion and 12 times. It was just like, hey, I caught that. It's like you with Sub Rosa. Just catch these little notes.
But I didn't hear it, but I went back for Discovery and definitely knew that reference.
Which is actually why we're here. We're going to talk about a couple things, but We'll get into the LGBTQ stuff. We'll save that for last. But yes, in Scavengers, in Discovery, and I can't believe you missed it. But when
I just didn't hear it. Like if I would have heard it, I just didn't. It went by so quick, and I was like, "What?" And so I went back because I had to watch it and hear it. So yeah.
Yeah, because one of the first things that Georgiou and Michael were scavenging for were self-stealing stem bolts, and we all know where self-stealing stem bolts came from.
That was amazing.
And the fact that Sirach is doing Holocron.
Yes, and also was USS Nog was there when they approached Starfleet, whatever the hell that is.
Oh yeah, that was the week before. Yeah, I was.
The week before, yeah,
But what was interesting is, and I mentioned this on the show last week, that was spoiled for me because I caught that on Twitter.
I know, me too. Yeah, I saw it. I was like, what is that? Yeah.
But I'm glad because honestly, if I wasn't looking for it, I would have missed it.
That's true. It went by real quick. Yeah.
And it was blurry. It's like Voyager was right in your face.
Voyager was right there. I know. That was so cool too, though.
Yeah. Voyager was right in your face. Oh, you know what I should have brought up? Oh, shoot. I forgot. I'll get there in a second. But yeah, Voyager was right in your face. But it's like, yeah, Voyager. Nog, to me, was more important.
Yeah,
was so much more important, and they kind of glitzed over that. But hopefully, Nog, the USS Nog, will show up in more episodes. But there was also what really excited me about that was there was a very clear Enterprise reference in that one. When
you always catch those, and I never.
Well, yeah, see, but when they were questioning Georgiou and they were talking about April 5th and how that's like a holy day.
Right.
And then she was talking, well, yeah, but in my universe, they killed all the Vulcans. And I sent that to you. That was the legitimate. That was the opening to In a Mirror Darkly, the Enterprise.
Yes. You sent it to me, but I didn't catch it at the time.
Right, exactly. But that's exactly what it was that Zefram Cochrane, instead of shaking hands with the Vulcans like he did at the end of First Contact, they redid it, and he shot them. And then the one guy was like, "Oh, just let's get on the ship. Let's take the ship." So.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool that was, that was like an in your face. That was an in your face. Yes. For Nog. Captain Nog forever. Yes.
Miss Aaron.
Aaron, we miss terribly. In fact, I was just thinking about that tonight because if my trip to LA comes off, which we're all crossing fingers because it's supposed to be over New Year's Eve, Melissa's birthday. I'm going to be out there for Melissa's birthday, so we'll be celebrating Melissa's birthday.
Yay.
And I realized it popped into my head. Aaron's birthday is around the same time. Like their birthdays are only.
Oh, really? Were they close?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that from before. So I was just like, oh. So, all right. So okay. The other thing about Scavengers, and this is the one thing you did notice, was they actually did whip out one of those TNG phasers.
The phaser, right? Did you see that? I was like, oh my God, they're like this junk. I was like, oh my God, it's a TNG phaser. Yeah. And I think it was it you who made the point now that they get to make all those references because they're in the future, whereas before they didn't have the stuff because it was way back in the past or whatever. So I really hope we keep getting those little nuggets as they go on now in the future, just because that's so much fun.
I just want them to be a little more subtle about it than Lower Decks. Lower Decks throws that shit in your face.
Well, no, but Lower Decks is happening at the same time that happened, so of course we're going to talk about it.
But what I'm saying is Lower Decks is very heavy-handed with it because it's fun. I like the little... Again, I like the subtleties that they're doing in Discovery. Like she just picks up this thing and she's like, and everybody's like, wait, that's a TNG phaser. I love that.
But like in Lower Decks, they talk about it because it's happening at the same time. Like it's like us talking about something that's happening now versus 50 years from now. We just won't talk about it as much.
I still am mad that Lower Decks made me wait five freaking episodes before we got an Enterprise reference. But then again, I have said this before and I say it again. I will figure out a way to work in Trip Tucker sprinkles in my next conversation with God, I'm going to.
We also got a Sub Rosa reference just for me.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And the only references to Malcolm Reed in Lower Decks so far, pineapples have shown up. And I'm like, that has to be a Malcolm Reed reference.
You say that, but I don't know.
Well, because the entire B story of one of the first season episodes was finding out what...
Right, but like, we don't know that that's what that is.
I dare anybody to go into
I feel like
Star Trek and find me another reason why pineapples would show up anywhere.
There doesn't have to be a reason, though.
Yes, there does. I've decided.
That's confirmation bias. It's not because you want it to be that.
Exactly.
It could be because they like weed or something. Like I don't.
Well, no, because it was. But if you watch that episode, it's called Silent Enemy, and it's in the first season. And we'll watch it when I'm out there, but you'll see why it makes sense to me that that's what it would be.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make you watch one Enterprise episode. It's going to be Silent Enemy.
I've watched all the Enterprise episodes.
Yeah, but tell me, do you remember that? I mean,
no, I don't.
No. But so we'll watch it, and you'll understand why I think it's that.
Okay.
But
That's
I know
fair.
we have you for a limited time. We're not going to be able to like hang out and chit chat for like unlimited amounts of time tonight, Randy.
Well, I mean, just the hour.
Well, yeah, but I mean, sometimes we've talked and it's been more than an hour.
It's true.
So you are my guest, and I always try to be cognizant of my guests and their time constraints. Yeah, like Nicole was supposed to be here for an hour for freaking shit hadn't.
Oh my God, that was so terrible. I totally forgot about that. Oh my God, that was awful. And it was so funny because we were sitting in the like green room for 15 minutes before, just like shooting the shit, just talking and having fun. And then the second the show starts, there's this like huge, terrible delay.
I'm telling you, it is the curse of Nicole. I love Nicole, and she was the first major Star Trek actor, I think, that I interviewed when I switched over to a Star Trek podcast. I think she was like the first Trek actor. And I was so excited to have her. And the podcast went for over an hour. We had so much fun. And when I went back to listen to it, there was something wrong with my mic, and I sounded like a chipmunk.
Oh no.
Nicole sounded perfect, and I sounded like a chipmunk. And it took me a couple weeks to realize, and I don't know why this would have been the problem. It was one of the cables.
Yeah.
It was the USB cable that connected my microphone box to my computer.
Yeah.
And the minute I swapped out that cable, everything was fine.
That's why you do a tech run.
I know. Well, the thing is I never heard yeah.
Oh, you didn't hear? Oh, yeah, because you're talking. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because I don't do monitor. I can't do monitors. I can't listen to myself. If I did, maybe I would have heard. But what was I supposed to do, like in the moment?
Yeah, no, it's nothing to do. Yeah.
So I mean, it's an hour and 15 minutes, and I downloaded. There's part of me that thinks one of these days, maybe if I want to go in and like just cut myself out and
you can just ADR.
Yeah, and just, like, change my pitch and bring myself down. But that would be a lot. So
is it video? No, it's just audio, right?
No, it's just audio.
You could just ADR it, just say the same thing over it.
Yeah. Like if I transcribed it.
Just write it and just say the thing over it again, yeah.
Yeah, that's true too.
Could do that.
Yeah, could. Not gonna
Could be
happen.
a fun project. It seems like a lot of work for that, but it's not impossible.
I have another friend. He's a musician and he's a whiz with he's done movie soundtracks for some independent projects and stuff, and he's amazing when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I sent it to him. He's like, yeah, no, yeah,
ADR.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. All right. So the main reason that I brought you here, besides the fact I just love having you on the show, and I know everybody else out there loves seeing you, is that we were going to talk about Ian Alexander and Blue. How does Blue pronounce that? Blue Del Barrio?
Yeah, I don't know about last names.
Yeah. So we're talking about Ian and Blue, aka Gray Tall and Adira.
Yes.
And how amazing it is, or not amazing. I mean, I think one of the reasons I wanted you on to talk about these two amazing people is they are obviously the LGBTQ edition, and they are a couple that Discovery added for this season. And when I had you on the podcast a million years ago, before we knew anything about Stamets and Culber, and you had said, I hope they don't kill them off, because that just seems to be the trope.
It is. Kill your gays, yeah. Kill your gays.
And it's like they killed Gray before we even got to know Gray. Like, we're getting to know Gray as the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That meme I sent you. I was talking to my dead boyfriend. Beverly's like, go on.
Exactly. Talking to my dad. And Stamets is like, I get it. I have a zombie.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So it seems interesting that it's like, yes, we're following the trope, but we're not, because we're always bringing them back in these weird, wonderful ways.
Yeah, Yeah, I guess. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like, why do we have to kill him to begin with? But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I guess obviously, this is. I mean, again, because before in the before times, before Discovery time jumped, they knew nothing of the Trills, and now they've time jumped past. I mean, we've passed Dax. I mean,
Right.
we've passed all of that. So now, now they can, we get to, delve into the troll culture more. And obviously, I'm
Yeah.
sure, like, trolls would never, it's just it's another weird circumstance, like Esri,
Yeah.
like Esri Dax, like Esri didn't want to be joined.
It was weird. Yeah. But she was at least a Trill. Yeah. But she
Yeah,
was not
exactly.
trained or prepared or ready or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the last time that we ever saw a human and a Trill, it almost killed the human. So what is it now? Like,
It's
why?
interesting, right? Like, I don't know that we have enough lore from the Trill race, even though like we've had them on for a while. I don't think that we have enough to know. Like, I mean, do the ancestors in the like lake thing know that the planet is dying and the people don't have any way to do that anymore, and so they're like, you know what, let's go ahead and welcome a human in this time, since there's nothing else that we can do because they don't have anyone else that can join. I don't know. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, is the fact that Adira was accepting, or that that Adira was accepting and wanted it, whereas Riker was just like, oh my God, like.
Yeah,
But I
or
mean,
they didn't need it back then, right? Like, is that
right.
what it is? That,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And I mean, the other thing is let's get this straight. There are a lot of people that have a lot of problems with the Trill, the one Trill episode in TNG, and then the DS9 Trill, because people just can't understand evolution and how they're like, yeah, the Trill was a one-off, but then somebody who did DS9 thought, no, these would be really cool to bring back.
Yeah, of course.
So let's just.
It's also a TV show, so I mean, we also have to remember that. We have to keep in mind that it is also just a TV show. It's not like these people actually exist. So of course they can bring them back if they want to. Like,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So I mean, maybe they will find a way. Like, let's put it again, because it's my show and we're going to talk about Enterprise. Also because Heroes and Icons also has moved into the 4th season of Enterprise, so this is very fresh in my mind. How Enterprise explained why the Klingons look different in TOS.
we don't talk about that.
in TOS, and then in Deep Space Nine, he's like, we don't talk about it. And literally, I think from what Worf said, it fits in with the explanation that we got in Enterprise with why the Klingons look different, is because they were playing around with genetic engineering and a virus, and it took away their ridges.
Right. It made them white.
Yeah, exactly. And so it really is embarrassing. It's like, seriously, no, this is why we don't talk
about it. Yeah.
I
mean, it was a funny throwaway at first, but then it's like, oh, we can use that.
It's like, let's build on this, and I think they did a great job. I love this. One of my favorite episodes. Plus, it introduced Section 31 in Enterprise.
Yeah.
And Eric Pierpoint, but
have we ever had an explanation why they're so different in Discovery versus TNG though?
Not yet,
because they're very different.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah, so that's the thing. Now that they've jumped in the future, now they can start talking about the Klingons, and now maybe they'll figure out a way to explain the TNG Trill versus the DS9 Trill. Let's see. Adira wanted the Trill. I was looking at the memories and resisting accessing the memories until Michael convinced her. Right. But I think what we're talking about was the rejection that Riker was going through. Like, Riker almost died. Like, Riker wanted to help, but what they were saying was that a symbiont and a human just didn't work, regardless of the emotional aspects, whether Adira wanted it or not, or facing it or not. The physicality of a human. Humans aren't meant to have giant slugs living inside them. Right. So that was the whole thing. It's like, and now all of a sudden, I mean, granted, it's it's 900 plus years later, and okay, the slug thing is working, but how is that possible?
Right.
Did they fix it? Obviously, they didn't fix it. Obviously, they didn't. I mean, obviously, they were against it. It's an abomination, but where are we with the physicalities and the science of it all?
Well, I mean, clearly it's okay because it's okay now. So
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah.
But again, like, how did we get?
Or maybe they did something in the pool that we don't know about, something physically that we don't know about even.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, again, I think it goes back to let's talk about Enterprise again and the other Section 31 episode, Terra Prime, and I don't remember the name of the second part. But when they cloned a baby, when they cloned the baby that was Trip into Paul's, and everybody was saying, oh no, wait, Vulcan, and then the baby died, and then they were wondering, about Vulcans and humans being able to procreate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously we know what's going to happen,
mm-hmm.
but the science was new because Vulcans
back then, of course.
Yeah. So there's that aspect where it's like, okay, yeah, so obviously by the time Kirk and everybody rolled around, they've figured it out.
They figured it out, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So it could just be a matter of that same situation with the Tyrell, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully, I'll take a lot of stuff on faith, but by the same token, it would just be interesting to see if they explain it or they just.
It's still early too, right? Like it just happened, and we're still learning, and we still don't even know why the Adira's boyfriend is there, hanging out with her. So yeah, there's still a lot.
And that's the other thing that some people have brought up. Because the whole point was there was supposed to be a transgender person and a non-binary person.
Right.
Now, so where is that fitting in?
I don't think that we've gotten there yet. I think there are still questions about that because it hasn't really come up, and they're still calling them him and her, and so I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what's going on.
Then again, in the trans community, somebody that chooses to be another gender. Sometimes their pronouns, they prefer the pronoun of the gender that they've chosen as opposed to a they them situation.
Yes, but they haven't said that. Like usually, it would come up. You wouldn't just assume the pronouns based on what the person looks like, and then that's just okay and right, and you move on and never talk about it. Like normally, it would come up somehow. I mean, I don't know. Right,
that's what I'm saying.
Years in the future, who knows? But
Adira's never said one way or the other, so.
It just seems weird that she's like female presenting and everyone says that she's she, and then apparently she's supposed to be non-binary. Like it seems strange. You know what I mean? Like that seems like, how would we ever know that that's a non-binary? Like that just seems like a girl with a short haircut. Like that just, you know what I mean? Like it's just strange.
And I
so I don't know.
Real quick, just to backtrack. Yes, Phlox did say at the end because Trip did come in at the end and said that they were compatible. But
nice.
Yeah. There was a flaw in the cloning process, is what killed baby Elizabeth.
Okay.
So, but there was but there was still a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I think and you being part of the LGBTQ community could answer this, better than I could. But I mean, is there a concern out of the gate about how they're handling this, or do you think people are just comfortable kind of waiting for them to feel it out? Because I mean, we're only halfway through the season.
No, I think everyone is cautiously optimistic, is what I would say. Okay. I mean, not everyone. I can't speak for everyone, but I mean, the general feeling that I get is that everyone is, in general, are cautiously optimistic. Right. I mean, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Like they've given us a gay couple, and we have Tig is on the show, right? And she had a wife that died. So we
again with the kill the gay.
I know. Yeah, and no one was happy with that. But yeah, so I think people are generally cautiously optimistic, saying, okay, they'll get to it. But I definitely am hoping they do something with it besides just what it is now, because it's like, wait, why or what? Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, in the spectrum, I guess I could call it a spectrum of the LGBTQ. A male gay couple and a lesbian and her wife. That's quote unquote easy.
Right.
As opposed to these very, very uncharted waters.
Yeah, for sure.
Non-binary and transgender.
Right, yeah, for sure.
So, I would hope, like you said, they made the conscious effort to do this.
Yeah.
So hopefully they know what they're doing and they've researched it and they've felt it out and they are taking baby steps. And I think that might not be a bad idea.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine to like take the time to flesh out the characters, whatever.
Right.
But I feel like it will be a huge disappointment if it's a non-binary character who's female presenting and just is called she for the whole season and no one ever talks about it. Like that would be very disappointing. Because it's like, why would you even mention it? Like, why would they announce it? You know, if there's no like lesson for people. And I think that's part of it too. Like, I think in a normal situation, like if this were real life, right? I think maybe that might be just okay that we have someone that's female presenting, goes by she all the time and whatever. Like, that's great. But I feel like to have it on a TV show, there should be a reason to have it. Right. And we're not learning any lessons by just having it like it is now. There's no lesson learned from that, right? So that's why I think from a TV show perspective, it's important.
And I think, I mean, if you want to reflect on real life, I mean, Adira's just getting to know her crew, and
and maybe that's it, and that's great. Like maybe she's not ready to talk about it yet, and that's totally fine.
Right, because honestly, that does go towards your sexuality, because I think when you start talking about being non-binary or gay or straight, when you start talking about something that's outside of what people view as the normal,
right,
then you open up questions about sexuality, like specifically about sexuality. Well, if you're non-binary, what does that mean? Who do you like to have sex with? Where do you want to, that kind of thing? And that's an intensely personal thing.
Yeah.
So when you're just brand new on a ship and you're 16 years old and you're just kind of feeling your way out, or maybe she doesn't know she's how do I say that? Like like some people don't realize they're saying, at 16, she might not even realize where her sexuality is lying or where her feelings are lying.
Yeah, maybe so. Herself. And maybe that's the story. I don't know. Yeah. That's why we're just waiting and hoping.
Right.
But by the end of the season, they have to say something about it because they can't just leave it like this for the whole season.
Yeah. No, they can't. But I think maybe the fact that she's so young, I think maybe they're planning on doing like a whole exploration and get to go on that ride with her.
And it might be coming because now we've seen her get close to Stamets because of the whole I believe that you have a dead boyfriend thing. So maybe this is when she opens up and starts talking about it or something. So we do have reasons to also be optimistic about it and wait and see. So it's not like they've given us nothing. So
and Robert agrees with you. Look at this. Like literally.
See, there we go.
You're literally in the middle of saying that when Robert came up with this.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Thing. Yes.
Yeah, because I think now that she's got somebody that she feels like she can be a confidant with, and Hugh's urging him to be that for her.
Yeah.
Because they have that incredibly unique dead significant other thing going on.
Yeah, for sure.
I would like to think that maybe, and I personally think that if we go on this journey with Adira, that's the perfect way to introduce it to the audience.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be a really great way to do it.
I think that would be a wonderful lesson for people who don't really understand. And her explaining it to him or her sort of coming into it and figuring it out or just whatever it is. I think that would be a valuable way to get the point across to, real people.
Yeah. I think so too. And Lambda Quadrant's all about safe spaces. That's what we created it for. So hopefully this will help to go along with, showing, acceptance and safe spaces and and if we get to Las Vegas and we can start talking when it has to be when. If I don't get my
it's happening. There's 3 vaccines now that are over 90% effective.
Yes, I heard there's a third one.
There's a third one out of the UK. Yeah.
Go Britannia. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
In case anybody out there doesn't know, I'm a huge Anglophile.
There you go.
Which,
Yeah, no, the third one, and 90% effective too. Like that's great. Oh my
I
God! Like
know.
they were hoping for 50. So yeah,
Yeah, I think
Vegas is happening.
Fauci said something like 70. He would have been happy if Pfizer came out and said 70.
Yeah.
And they came out with like 90, 95,
And
which
the three of them, yeah.
I am so mad at myself for not grabbing these to show y'all, and I'll try and remember them for next week. But there is a series of Star Trek stamps that was done by the Royal Mail.
I saw that. Did you see how happy Marina was?
Yes, well, guess what? I own them.
Of course you do.
I got my set. But yes, Marina posted it on Twitter.
She was so happy. That was so cute.
The artwork is incredible.
It is.
It's so beautiful.
She had like the big one. Oh, it was so cute.
Yes,
I was so happy for her.
And it's actually not that expensive. I mean, it's £16.95.
That's not bad.
But the exchange rate's
So,
only like $1.50.
20 something bucks. Yeah.
$1.50 to the pound.
There you
So
go.
it's not even that terrible. The shipping was £2.95. So I ordered it the minute that I saw somebody in one of my Twitter followers posted about it, and I went, wait, how do you get this? And I clicked on the link, and I'm like, let me see. And it let this little US chick order them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're these beautiful stamps. They're from the Royal Mail. By the way,
to get them.
if you want to mail something in England, it's £1.21 because they're all like official stamps. But it's got Kirk and Spock. Then it's for TOS. For TNG, it's got, as we said, Marina. So it's got Troy and Picard. Then for Deep Space Nine, it's got Cisco and Bashir. Then for
I'm looking it up now.
For Voyager, it only has Janeway.
Yes.
Because then for Enterprise, it's got Archer and Reed.
Uh-huh.
And then it's got 3 for Discovery. It's got Burnham and Lorca.
Yeah.
And Ash.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Well, I was talking to somebody about it today, and this is my theory. If you notice, Marina, and Patrick, and Dominic, and Sid, they're all of British descent.
Right.
Because normally, I mean, if you only had 2 people, and Jason Isaacs, if you only were doing representation for 2 people, you wouldn't have gotten Troy, you wouldn't have gotten Reed, and you wouldn't have gotten Bashir.
Uh-huh.
It would have been like Nana.
Right.
But I think what they did was they went with the captains and the British people.
There you go.
And since Voyager had no British people, and they wanted to do 3 for Disco because it's the new one.
Because it's new, yeah.
Voyager got the short end of the stick, and they only got represented by 1 person.
But we got the only lady captain, so it's good.
We got the only lady captain, which is absolutely fine. I just think that's funny because usually, as we all know, Enterprise is the one that gets short shrifted. But because they had a Brit in the cast,
yeah,
got double representation on the stamps.
See, there you go.
And they're gorgeous. And it actually came with something else. It came with like a little thing about the movies. I need to get a frame or something for it. It came in like
totally, yeah.
Well, because it came in like this little plastic thing, and I had to figure out some place to put it that wasn't going to get with the animals. So it's up on a very high.
Yeah.
And so I forgot to grab it and bring it up to show everybody. But Star Trek stamps, Royal Mail.
I got to order mine.
Order yours. And I mean, they came pretty quickly.
Where'd you get it from? Like the actual Royal Mail?
Like the Royal Mail, yeah. The return address
okay.
is Edinburgh, Scotland. So the return address
cool,
is Edinburgh. So, which is where my grandmother was born. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's fun.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, it's got like a family thing. But yeah, they're official Royal Mail stamps, and like I said, not too pricey considering the exchange rate's pretty close.
That's good.
So, and they were released. I think the release date was somewhere around November 13th. So I pre-ordered them the end of October, and then one of Dominic's fans that follows me on Twitter, we follow each other on Twitter, Mark posted when they got them. Mark posted. And I thought, oh, well, if Mark's got them already, then hopefully being like, and they're in Europe. I don't think they're in the UK, but they're in Europe. So I'm like, please be soon. And I got them on Friday. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to get mine.
They're beautiful. I highly recommend them. The only other stamps that I have, and then the reason I have them is Magic Lasso. I have the Wonder Woman commemorative stamps that came out for her anniversary.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, those are really cool because it's like Wonder Woman in comics through the years, so it has
Right.
her different ideation.
Were those US ones?
Yeah, those were US.
Gotcha.
But yeah, as soon as they came out, I went and got, because Magic Lasso and I were talking about them consistently. Another shout out, as we all know, Magic Lasso, comic book king that he is. I helped him with something last week, and he surprised me. As a thank you, he is sending me a Star Trek comic. It is going to be my very first Star Trek comic.
Ooh.
So he said he was at a comic book show and he saw it, and I'm probably like the only Star Trek fan that he knows, like huge Star Trek fan. He knows a lot of people in a lot of different fandoms.
Comics, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and comics and Wonder Woman and Marvel and all that other stuff.
Right.
But he said he was sharing. He's like, I got you something. He's like, do you want to wait or do you want to see it? I'm like, I'm like, if you're going to give me the option of be surprised or no, I always pick I want to know now.
Oh.
So,
one of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those. So it's a TOS comic. I think it's issue 1 of one of the series. So
Oh, cute.
it was 40 cents. The cover price was 40 cents. And he had a comic book show that he went to.
Oh, cute. That's fun.
So I'm so excited.
The only comics I have are the full set of the original Sailor Moon comics that were released here in the US.
If anybody wants to know why Randy's wearing those ears, because I just really feel like those ears kind of fit in with the whole anime Sailor Moon.
Those are the only ones that I have.
I've tried to do comic books. It's a large
It's true.
It's a large investment of time and money. So I am terrible. Because it's like you have to go every week and make sure that you get there to get your comic books.
Yeah.
So I have some Star Wars
terrible at
comics, and I feel terrible because I don't know where they are, because they might actually be worth a little something, because they're original Marvel runs of the stuff that happened like right after Return of the Jedi. Like the ones that I have that I treasure are the ones with Lumia, who was the Dark Lord of the Sith that took over after Darth Vader. She had her whole storyline, and they actually moved her from the comics into the novels, which I thought
cool.
Which I thought was really cool. So I have some Star Wars comics. I tried to get into some Superman and Wonder Woman stuff recently, and I was doing really, really well, and then it just fizzled out. But
it's tough, yeah.
It is tough. But the one thing that I have that I absolutely love, that again that Magic Lasso turned me on to, there was a, and he's going to correct me, I know, if I get this wrong. There was a whole series, I think in the 60s, where Diana Prince lost her Wonder Woman powers. I'm not going to get into why, but there was this whole part where she didn't have her powers, and she learned kung fu from a kung fu master, and she was still crime fighting. But she was Diana Prince. She was never Wonder Woman. She didn't have Amazonian powers. And they were available in what's called trade paperback, where like the whole series is put into paperback volumes. So
yes, instead of yes.
Instead of individual issues. So
right.
There's 4 volumes that cover this whole story arc where Diana doesn't have her powers.
Right.
And he helped me find, because I was able to get one from my comic book shop, and then he couldn't find the other ones because they're out of distribution. Like they're not printing them anymore.
Of course.
So he can't just order them for me.
Right.
Like he did the first one. So it took some eBay digging and some Amazon digging, and I have all 4 volumes.
Oh, that's fun.
And they're just really cool to read. It's interesting when you read comics from like the 1960s.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was really cool. And Superman, my guy Superman shows up in one storyline that I haven't finished reading. I'm terrible with reading too. I used to not be, but I'm terrible with reading. So Lasso, if I'm wrong and I'm dating them wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in the 60s that this all happened.
That's fun.
Very mod fashions, like she's running around in like those one piece,
right?
With the gold belt around her.
That's fun to see.
In fact, that's what she does. She runs a mod dress shop. She actually has a business.
Wow.
So it's so much fun. But yeah, like I said, like I'm very comic book peripheral.
Yes. Like I said, I'll have a Sailor Moon. So.
But I will very soon have my very first Star Trek comic, which I can't put anywhere near my Star Wars comics because I try not to mix my fandoms too much.
I feel like you have lots of places to put them.
I need to clean out my house. My house is terrible. It's like one of the reasons that I have this green screen up is because I don't want anybody to see what my office looks like.
Oh my gosh.
Like your house looks amazing.
It does. It's just because there's a screen there. I don't know. All was behind there is my bed, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just your
because I
house.
don't have any room.
I know. Been there. There's my couch in case that's where
There it is.
There it is.
There's
Still
your
there.
hotel room. Yeah.
That's why, you know what? That's why I keep asking you to come on the show. I want to make sure it's still there, so that
Still there. I mean, I gotta have a couch, so.
Well, yeah, but for all I know, I could be out there and be like, oh nope, here's this shitty ass futon. I got rid of the nice couch.
Nope. Still there.
Still there. No, that couch is actually not bad for sleeping.
I know, it's great. It's huge.
And what people can't see is the awesome TV that's directly in front of it on the wall.
I know they can. It's right there. It's huge, though.
Yeah, so it's just like, kick back and watch Designing Women.
Lots
like people
of,
need, like everybody wants to know what I do when I'm at Randy's house. I sit around and like we look for shit to watch on his streaming services.
Yeah, just whatever's, yeah. And then my wall of DVDs that you also cannot see, which are right here. Anyone who ever comes over is like, that's a lot of DVDs. I'm like, that's stuff that you can't find streaming is what that is, because there's just random old shit that you can't find anymore.
I know. You know what kills me is that, and because I've been begging you to watch Hollywood Kills for like a year.
Yeah.
And when I was out there in February, I'm like, let's watch Hollywood Kills because
you can't.
But it used to be on Amazon Prime and it went away off of Amazon Prime and we looked and we even looked on those, those BitTorrent sites that you're not supposed to look on.
Still couldn't find it.
Didn't find it. I ended up buying it on DVD because I have to watch it every Halloween.
Yeah, you see? So that's what those are. People are like, you have a lot of DVDs. I'm like, no, I don't. Those are just ones that are like, you can't find. Or either that or they like move around and I don't want to have to like cancel and buy streaming services constantly to watch one random movie. So
yeah, when you just so happen to maybe feel like it. Well, that's the other, this is what kills me because again, back to Dominic because but he also did this really great it was like his first big break when he was in England was this comedy called Desmond's, and it's fabulous. And I watched a couple episodes on YouTube, like really, really bad copies on YouTube, and then I went on Amazon, and you could get up to season 4 on DVD. So I went out and did that, but it turns out there's a 5th and a 6th season. He left. He wasn't in the 6th season. But you can't find there are no DVDs. There's nothing. And YouTube has maybe 1 or 2 episodes.
Right.
But it kills me because I'm like, I just feel like I'm missing out on something. It's like I've got 4 out of the 5. Where's my 5th?
Yeah. So that's why I have the wall of DVDs.
Yeah. So believe it or not, there are things you can't find. Although I heard a rumor that Desmond's was on streaming on Amazon UK, but I don't have an Amazon UK
okay.
And I don't have any friends over there that would know how to like rip something off of
right. Yeah.
Amazon. And just in case anybody cares, this is a Wonder Woman reference. Randy's couch, it kind of looks purplish in the light.
It's the lights.
But it's really gray.
It's just gray, yeah.
It's gray, but you're right. It does look purple in the lights. Yeah, but I
have the purple lights on.
Randy if you ever need any help programming your Amazon Alexa to do cool shit.
Don't call me. I can't do that for everybody in the world.
It could be your side hustle.
I don't need a side hustle. I need time off.
I know. Randy actually has been working very hard. It's ironic. I mean, if we can digress about, because I've got like 7 minutes of your time left, but we can digress about, like for COVID, you've actually been kind of lucky because
I have.
Your job was remote anyway.
Yeah, I worked from home before all of this, so work has been no different for me. It's just Disneyland that I don't get to do anymore.
Disneyland and which sucks.
I know.
That's what I should do. If I moved out there, I should live in Anaheim because then I could be assured that you would visit me.
I wouldn't visit you. I would visit Disneyland and you could.
Well, yeah, but I would. What I'm saying is, if I lived in Anaheim, I could be like your little base of operations. Like you wouldn't have to go all the way home.
Totally.
You would come and stay, and you'd be like, "Wait, that means I could do Disneyland 2 days in a row because I would go. You could crash." And
I do that all the time anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, don't you live like 45 minutes away on a good day?
Yeah. Well, no, 39 minutes with no traffic.
Okay. That's the one thing that I had to learn when I came out there was that you have to speak in traffic, like how to speak in
Yes, there's
traffic.
I don't know how far it is. I just know how long it takes
Right. Nobody
on
knew.
the day.
Well, you know what's really funny is last year when we were at Gallifrey, I ended up talking traffic with Jeff Combs too
See?
about.
Yeah,
Yes, it's so funny how
it's a
like
thing.
that's
And
yeah.
the stupid skits on Saturday Night Live are funny, but they're absolutely true.
Well, that's like when you watch the Saturday Night skit. When I watch the Saturday Night Live skits about Boston, it's like it's funny because it's true.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like those Sam Adams commercials.
Oh yeah.
That is like your cousin from Boston. I'm like, I lived in
Uh-huh.
Massachusetts for 4 years. That is pretty much yeah. But see, that's the thing. That stuff it doesn't to me. It's not making fun. It just makes me homesick to be back up there.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's not like they're saying they're anyone's bad people or anything like that. Like the Californians, like it's just funny because they're just being silly. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's
not
the same thing
offended.
with the self-parking car. Like they freaking got Chris Evans to come onto a commercial. And
Yes, 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 yes.
packing cars.
The packing cars. Yeah.
Look, it's a smack cat tax. I'm like, yes, this is what we say when we live up there. And then David Ortiz is hanging on. I'm like, Poppy, oh my god, like Boston Red Sox. Like this is
So
like
good.
the quintessential Boston commercial.
See, it's good. No, it's
It
all in good fun.
represents.
All in good fun.
It represents. But yeah, because I'm sitting there going, oh, they're packing their cars.
That's so
But the
funny.
cars are packing themselves because they're smart cars. Because that's what we do in Boston. We pack our cars in the Harvard yard. So it's the only accent I can do. Like I've tried like it has never helped me in my acting career, but it is on my acting resume can do a Boston accent.
That's hilarious.
I could have been in that commercial if they weren't looking for already established celebrities.
That's true. Always the case.
I know.
Ain't that always the way?
It is the way. Oh no, see now we're back to the Mandalorian.
Oh, yes.
Well, I think that's the other thing that I absolutely love about this season is that we got Discovery and The Mandalorian. So it's like Thursday Star Trek, Friday Star Wars.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And like and Discovery started, right on the heels of Lower Decks ending. So we've had content for a while now, and I'm very excited about it.
Oh wait, watch this. Do we know when Picard's coming back?
Does anybody know when Picard's come back now?
We all, yeah, because I'm 7 and 9.
We could also, when you're here, we could also take a Picard tour because several of those places are just around here in LA.
Oh, that's awesome! And we have to. Somebody keeps people. I think it was somebody actually on the podcast that said, that wants me to go to the desert where Kirk fought the Gorn.
Oh, is that the famous rocks? The same place that Picard is? Yes, that's right. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Okay, we have to do that. And then, the Bat Cave. I was promised
the Bat Cave. The Starfleet headquarters in Picard is literally just the Anaheim Convention Center right across the street from Disneyland. I mean, it didn't change anything.
But I don't want to take you to Anaheim because I have this feeling that you will just go up to the gates of Disney and just
It's not going to be open. I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to go in there.
But no, I think yeah. So we've got that all planned out, and then the horseback riding thing. But I definitely have to have like some Star Trek stuff. And unlike when I was out there in February and my quote unquote taxi ride from the airport like whizzed past Paramount, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, that's Paramount. I was like, can we like go back? Yeah. I'm like, that's like hallowed ground, and you're like whipping me past it.
Because that's what it's like here. You just go
I mean, I had a buster on that one, but no, that's totally understandable. Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely has to be some Star Trek in my for
sure. Because that's all stuff that's safe to do, so that's fine.
Yeah, well, I plan on being out there for a week, so I plan a bunch of outdoor activities. I really hope outdoor dining opens up again.
Yeah, who knows?
But I feel like my chances of seeing Wesley Ure are like slim and none because he's being very, very careful about quarantining, and I understand that.
Totally.
Because he and his boyfriend are both in that group, but he lives out in Palm Springs.
Oh yeah.
So, and for those of you that don't know, Wesley was Will on Land of the Lost. Marshall, Will, and Holly. One of my favorite childhood shows. And I promised him I'd come see him, but he's like, yeah, I don't think that's good. I'm like, I will stand on the side of the street. We could just wave at each other. And be like, hi, good to see you. If you go to STLV, anybody that goes to STLV, they have to go visit the Land of the Lost table because they're just awesome.
Aww.
And because they will sing you their theme song.
That's amazing.
Which is awesome. And because Wesley's boyfriend dresses like a Sleestak. He has.
Oh yeah. I remember that. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, that was Wesley's boyfriend, Richard.
Right. I do remember that.
He
Yeah.
dresses as a Sleestak. In fact,
So
he did it. They did a. I went to one. They had a virtual Q&A.
Oh.
I can't remember for who. Might have been Wizard World. They did a virtual Q&A a couple weekends ago, and he had Richard dress up.
Cute.
I was like watching, and then all of a sudden I realized Richard's just like sitting behind him, and somebody's like, "Look, there's a Sleestak." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
That's hilarious.
So yeah, Richard was the highlight. So yeah, but they have so much stuff from the show.
That's so cute.
It's like reliving my childhood. 5 days of Marshall, Will, and Holly, because we were right next to them last year. So
right,
back when there were conventions.
Back when there were a lot of things.
2019, back when we could do things.
All right, well, we
hit the 11 o'clock mark, which I believe is 8 o'clock for you.
It is.
Randy, thank you so much for coming and talking about what's going on. And because we all know that you can't get enough of us, we are doing a HoloCon 3.
Please come, please.
Because Cirroc Lofton's going to be there. Because speaking of like bad internet, when we first had him on HoloCon 2, that got really screwed up. Thank Magic Lasso. Thank you as always for hanging out.
Thank you.
But yeah, Cirroc was trying. He was such a trooper. He was coming back from Vegas and he tried to talk to us, and that just kind of.
It was terrible in the car. Yeah.
Yeah. So so after it was like, so you'll make this up to us, right? And Cirroc's like, of course, because Cirroc is an amazing human being.
He is, and we saved it for a good thing. We saved it for safer at home. Oh, thanks, Robert.
Oh, thanks, Robert. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, which is this Thursday. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there that is watching, who will hopefully see this before then. But yes, and Ryan Husk, who is the other half of the Seventh Roll podcast, is going to be with us on Saturday. And then Cirroc is Sunday. But of course, we are the Lambda Quadrant. So we always have amazing panels programmed.
Yes. We have educational stuff. We have fun stuff. We have silly stuff. We have Star Trek stuff. We have games. We have all kinds of stuff.
This is where you can find the Lambda Quadrant everywhere on social media, and trust me, there will be social media stuff.
Yes.
So you will be, yeah. So check everything out on social media. The next thing that's going up is going to be the schedule of events as soon as we finalize it. And then, of course, if you follow me, that's me on social media. So see, just everywhere. Oh, Johnny, we love you too. Please come to HoloCon. It is, I should probably give the dates. It's December 5th and 6th.
And it's free.
And it's free. So it's going to be
for a good cause.
God, it's a week from Friday, or a week from Saturday.
Yeah.
It's the 5th and the 6th. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me, as always. And you know what? Stay safe out there, because I want to see you all the next weeks. I want to see you in Vegas, because we are all going to 55 LV. And until next week, live long and prosper.
Hey, this is Connor Turner. You've been listening to the NX7062 podcast with Stephanie. Enjoy your evening.